Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and happy Saturday to you all. As the construction across the street has decided they are off of their lunch break now, so that's great. Hopefully, that doesn't pull away from this too much. But happy Saturday to you all. Again, if you are watching this at any other point in the week, happy whatever day of the week it may be. It is Saturday. It is OST day. We're continuing to play catch up throughout the OSTs that we missed over the past 4 months or so. Last week we did December of last year. Unfortunately, part 2 of the December catch-up, which ended up being, I think, episode 4, right? Episode 4, season 2 is, at time of recording, still blocked. I need to go and edit out the On Yujin's Disney one, because Disney and UMG did not like me putting it in there, even without the video in it, so that's slightly unfortunate, but nevertheless, we still have music to catch up on. We have got 6 OSTs to go through, and then there's another 5. So there's 11 in total from January that I wanted to get to. We're going to do half and half, well, kind of half and half. So there's going to be 6 in episode 6, which did not mean for that to happen. And then there's going to be the other 5 next episode in episode 7, which will be out, well, if it isn't out already, it'll be out in a little while after this goes live. So, on the docket today, we've got Miss Kim Yeji from Cardi, we've got Wooyeon from Wooyeon, who had a comeback very recently, very exciting times, Miss Chuu, 10cm, Mr. Kwon Jung-yo of 10 centimeter, and then Seoyeon of From S9, who recently got announced for Waterbomb this summer, and finishing off with a little bit of NCT U one time. So, let's dive in. Oh, actually, no, I have to do a note thing first, don't I? This year, I'm going to try and hold off on as many drama MVs as possible, mainly because having an MV with clips from the show puts it at high risk for content ID blocks. So, there'll really only be like the YouTube music kind of, just the album art versions, color-coded lyrics, and then the only time you'll really see like a live clip is if it's just the member or members singing into a microphone without any other like TV footage and stuff like that. So I can only apologize for that. It's just I don't want to deal with any more copyright stuff than I have to, because last year was kind of a nightmare with that, especially with like retrospective blocks and stuff. But I've waffled long enough. Let me roll intro real quick and get to song number 1. Here we go. I wish I could close the window, but I have an east-facing window here. No, west-facing window. I guess technically southwest-facing window, and it is a bloomingly warm 27 degrees outside, and I don't want to pay for AC, so I've got the windows open. I can only apologize if you can hear impact drivers in the background going because, well, they're building 4 houses across the street. So, that's besides the point. Let's get started. Miss Kim Yeji of Cardi. Love her voice. Honestly, one of the most unique voices out of the Korean music scene, I want to say. Just her voice. She has one of those voices where you know immediately who's singing it just when she starts singing it. And if it's a song that's got a decent bit of oomph behind it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But this is Never Lost from Love Song for Illusion. So, let's send it one time. Here we go. Kind of giving war chant vibes at the moment. I love that we got a hit of the blown reed instrument there at the end. That was really nice. Also really interesting that most of the instrumentation in the verse is purely rhythmic. It's like the actual pitched instruments is almost like creating an ambience and like noise in the background. Long white noise riser. It's dramatic, it's heavy, it's powerful. Yeah, it's like the drum part in the back and at the bottom, heavy. Her voice has got that heavy emotional power that she does so well. And this kind of wide open soundscape really gives it the big imposing feel to it. There's a really interesting composition style going on here, where I'll talk about it later. Peep the ad-libs at one time. Firm cut at the end. Yeah. Okay. So what I was going to say before I was very pleasantly interrupted with the powerful vocals, the final chorus, is composition for this song. The instrumentation behind Kim Yeji's vocals, it's got all the heavy punchiness from a kind of dramatic, almost war march type song that you want from a song of this nature. It's also got an orchestral element to it, but it's almost more textural rather than sonical. Like, you don't really hear the string section, rather so you feel the string section, in that it's not meant to be a prominent instrument. It's meant to create more of a kind of wider soundscape, a more well-rounded soundscape, instead of just being heavy all the time. There's a kind of delicateness, but there's also a little bit of softness that you get from the string section that you can occasionally hear. It's not meant to be the prominent instrument. And typically on a dramatic song like this, when you have an orchestral section, the orchestral section almost takes front and center. But with this, it takes a step back, which I think is really cool. It's really neat, especially from someone who used to play an orchestra growing up. I mean, I played until second year of undergrad, I guess through the second year of undergrad, but it's got the impact that you want from a heavy classical dramatic piece. But then you crank up the dramaticness, the dramaticism, in specifically the drum part and Kim Yeji's vocals. The drums, especially once you get into like your floor toms and your kicks, and you get them into that kind of constant marching beat, oh, you're gonna get amped up listening to it. And then you pair it with Kim Yeji's vocals that just, ooh, icing on the cake. Her voice, when she puts her foot down and like, it's hammer time, it's fun to listen to because it's so her. For me, Kim Yeji has such a cool vocal color, whether it's on her own or as part of the Karyu lineup, it doesn't matter. But when she really shines, for me, is when she puts, you know, like 120%, kicks it into overdrive, throws it into high gear, because the experience, the listening experience is just different, and it hits different. Ooh, Oh, I missed hearing her voice. It was so good. Wooyeon OST. I don't know if we've ever had one of these before. I'm not gonna complain though. Specifically, Miss Wooyeon of Wooyeon. Remember watching her on Queendom Puzzle? Her and Seoyeon, just seeing the kind of progression and the evolution of their abilities throughout the show was really cool to see. And I think because admittedly, I don't really know Wooyeon all that well. I knew Nana, but that was about it. And then, this recent era with, oh gosh, I've forgotten what the title track was called now, but this most recent comeback that they just had, it was like, I got to digest a little bit more Wooyeon since Catch the Stars and Roller Coaster. I got to learn who the members were a little bit. And well, I feel like Wooyeon is the one that I know like second most out of the members now, which is super cool. But this isn't about Wooyeon, this is specifically about Wooyeon because she was in Snap and Spark, I believe, and she's singing OST for drama that she's in, which is super cool indeed. In fact, it's actually the second time that's happened today, because from this past week, so for episode 5, I think, the one for this week, we had Zuho and Cho Sumin, who also sang for their own drama. Super cool. So I'll find you first. Snap and Spark. Here we go. I like the piano start.
자꾸 쉬운 길로 난 더 편한 대로 난 그냥 수만 개 시선 속에 진심을 찾아낸 난 이젠 하루하루가 또 1분 1초가 so hard 그 말과 말의 미묘한 숨과 숨이 말하는 heart you 솔직하게 다가와 찾았다 작게
That's super cool. We're kind of kicking it up in the vocals a little bit, but the piano just stays where it's at. Ooh.
I'll find you 감춰둔
Her kind of vibrato usage is really interesting. She doesn't use it really a whole lot on her long held high notes. She uses it on like a trailing end of her lower tone, which is super cool. Also, really cool that it's only piano. It's Wooyeon and piano only. That's really cool to me. She has a really kind of almost welcoming and inviting high tone. Yeah, it's a really kind of calming tone that she has in this. And I think the soul piano accompaniment helps with that regard as well, but that's super nice indeed. And what really works for me is the song structure and the fact that there is two moving parts, Wooyeon's vocals and the piano. That's it. Because for me, of course there's sun drilling again. I might have to go and close the window after this song. But for me, when it comes to a good, slow, emotional ballad, the most effective way to write an emotional ballad like this is to put one vocal with one instrument. That's it. And for me, I'll Find You is the quintessential example of that. There's very minimal sound engineering in terms of, like, adding reverbs, layering vocals and stuff like that. It's quite literally just the piano part and just the vocal part. And because of it, it sounds so true and it sounds raw in a way. And I don't know if this is the case. It probably isn't, but if on the off chance it is, it doesn't really matter. To me, it sounds like Wooyeon is singing while she's playing the piano. And just something about that sound signature and the song style, just, it's green lights everywhere for me. That's so nice. So it turns out they finished the siding and they're working on the roof. That's why the drill sounds were really loud. I've closed the window to about as close as it can go to being completely closed without it being closed, so hopefully the sound is a little bit more muffled, but we're gonna keep her moving one time. Sorry, Wooyeon, if that kind of was pretty prevalent in the first 30 seconds or so of the song, but we have to move. Miss Chuu! Oh, it has been so tremendously exciting in the Luna camp recently. Of course, we had, Ibu joining Paper Mill. We've gotten Chuu doing a whole bunch of stuff. Chuu was on Lusemble Assemble recently. Lusemble, of course, had a comeback very recently. Artemis are going through their pre-re-debut with all 5 members. And it's a great time to be in orbit right now because there's so much stuff happening. And of course, this is from January, but we got to cover it today, and that's very exciting because Miss Chuu has done an OST for webtoon Moon During the Day. This is Fox Rain. Feel like I haven't tapped in with Chuu's solo music as much as I want to. Admittedly, she hasn't had a whole bunch of solo music, has she? Because she had her solo debut was like, Howl and Alien and stuff like that. Alien's still a song that I listen to this day, to be fair. I need to start adding more OSTs from her into my playlist. I think that's what I need to do. Anyways, let's go check this one out. Here we go. Chuu can do quite a bit with her voice, so I'm very excited to see what this is going to be like. It's a song in 3.
사랑을 하지만 몰라서 더는 가까이 못 가요. 근데 왜 자꾸만 못난 내 심장은 두근거리나요. 난 당신이 자꾸만 밟혀서 그냥 갈 수도 없네요. 이루어질 수도 없는
Really interesting instrumental section here. Bowed shoulder strings, pizzicato upright strings. Oh. Really interesting, almost elegant style going on. Love the little flip there.
내가 뭘 할 수 있나요? 이루어질 수도 없는 이 사랑에 내 맘이 너무 아파요.
I mean, the song being in 3 definitely helps this, but this kind of feels like a winter ball type song. Song in 3, waltzes are always in 3, and for some reason the instrumental section and even Chuu's vocal delivery gives it a wintry sensation, which is really cool. It's that little flip she does in that specific section. So cool.
그냥 갈 수가 없네요. 당신 곁에 잠시 누워 있을게요. 잠시만, 아주 잠시만. 두비두비두라빠, 두비두비두라빠, 두비두비두, 두비두비두, 두비두비두라빠, 두비두비두라빠, 두비두비두라빠.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It's very elegant. There's really no heaviness to it. Even though it's got the dramaticness from the string section, it's light on its feet. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. It does feel like wintry ball type music. It's a little bit quick to be like, I think for me to really associate it with like wintry balls, but it does feel like a winter waltz song. I mean, there's really no indication that it's meant to be like a winter song at all, but it just gives me that vibe. I don't know why. Maybe it's the kind of style that the string section is playing in the background. Chuu's voice definitely helps in that part, especially when she uses that kind of softer voice that's got this really distinct trailing end to her long phrases. It just works for me. I feel like I don't have a whole lot to say apart from it just works. And I mean, a song in 3 I'm always going to enjoy. It is that classical brain of mine that just enjoys a song in 3. There's such cool things you can do with a song in 3, stylistically, rhythmically. Just naturally will have a little skip in its step just because you can't divide 3 evenly. Well, you can, but you get my point. Rightio. Mr. Shipsenshi. The Way to Lose You from My Demon. Very highly rated show with an extremely good soundtrack lineup. This usually, like, the MV for it from the television studio exists, but Wonder K had a Beyond the Studio version of it, so I'm gonna chance it. If this gets like kind of treated as like a trial thing, if this gets blocked down the road, then I'll know to avoid these in the future. But I haven't really done a 1-K like Beyond the Studio ever on the channel, so I'm gonna risk it here and just kind of chalk it to a learning experience. So, Mr. Kwon Jung-yeol, here we go.
주세요. 나는 모르겠어요. 이내 돌아서는 법 그대에게 눈을 떼는 법도 아니 모르겠어요. 끝내 멀어지는 법.
Oh, this is rare for me. It's a song in 4 that doesn't feel like a song in 4.
그댈 잡은 손을 놓는 법도 나는 아직도 그대를
일만
Kinda, that flip gave me
할줄
goosebumps.
알고 그것 말곤 다른 그
Oh, and it keeps going higher.
무엇도 알지 못해요 난 못해요 모르게 해줘요 그댈 잃는 밤 영원히 더는 가지 말아요
Wow, love that silence there.
젖은 미소 남겨두
It's such a nice reset into the second verse, because the second verse is already very pretty.
발걸음이 떨리고 있는데 나는 아직도
Is that the only part in the song where the instrumental goes into triplet?
그대를 만나 사랑에 빠지는 일만 할 줄 알고
He almost kind of rolls his R's, which is really interesting.
그것
Like, it's happened
말곤
twice now, but whenever he like elongates the word sarang, he rolls his R a little bit.
하지 못해요 난 못해요 모르게 해줘요 그댈 잃는 밤 영원히
Having the instrumental part be just guitar too is so cool. You get like three different flavors of guitar. 1K. I'm gonna need to check out more of these Beyond the Studio things, because that was actually quite good fun. But yeah, it's really nice. I mean, his voice on just a soft song like this, I think is such a good fit. I mean, I didn't really know about 10 centimeter at all until last year when, well, he had My Ultimate First Love, he went on Imogen's Surface, got to learn more about him through his music there. Then we had a whole bunch of OSTs from him. He collabed with Lucy on a live clip for My Ultimate First Love and things like that. It's just, his voice is so cool, man. It's so cool. And you let him kind of get into the mellowness of that slower type music, and oh, it's raps. It's so raps. It's so good at it. He's so good at it. And the song, too. It's got this really nice, long, stretched out feeling to it. It's almost, you know, the action when you make toffee or like candies. You ever go on YouTube and watch like the How It's Made series and you just see all these like candies being made, you put it on a hook and then it kind of goes, you know, spindles and then stretches out. Or like toffees, you get to see things stretch out. The Way to Lose You has that element down perfectly, where it just stretch. Every phrase stretches. And 10 centimeter, well, Kwon Jung-il's voice has that same stretchiness to the point where there are certain times where his voice doesn't necessarily fall perfectly in time with the meter. He can kind of extend certain parts. He'll come in a little bit early, or he'll hold the trailing end like half a beat longer than it needs to. And I think that kind of flexibility the song has is really cool to listen to. Right, Miss Seoyeon of From S9. I feel like it has been 45,000 years since we have From S9 stuff on the channel, but we have From S9 music. Well, Miss Seoyeon from S9, who has, I think ever since we did the deep dive, been a big bias record problem for me. Even more so into like the Pledis era, because I feel like every single time I notice something really cool, it's her responsible for it. Anyways, I Am You, You Are Me, which I believe is a Zico song. Got used for the OST for Our Secret Diary. I saw there was a playlist live clip of it. I wasn't sure if it was the same arrangement. That's why I pulled specifically the OST version of it. If it is the same, then I can only apologize. But either way, let's send it one time. Also, very fun Imogen service that she was on. Yeah. The fact that... You know what, I'll bring it up later, it's not important right now.
무슨 일이 벌어진 건지 전혀 진동 지우고 힙함한 듯한 난 어쿠스틱해졌어. Tell me what you want from me.
The attitude that Seoyeon has when she gets into like the little slides into notes, I think is so cool. She's got this certain sass to her tone. That's so nice.
비교도 안 되게 내가 잘할게 왜냐면 넌 나고나 나야 넌 너고나 나야 마음이 같다면 둘은 서로가 될 거야 넌 나고나 나야 그리 너무 좋아 억울하단다는 말은 누가 만든 걸까 친구들이 말해줄 때 난 딱히 걱정 없고 하도 좋아서 문제야 이거 봐 흙도 줄이고 있고 바지도 올려있고 아무한테나 미소 안 보이고 있어 결국만 바보치대가 어딨어 민낯일 때 제일 이 장면을 엄마 보면 기절해 노리시걸 더 이상의 표현은 아낄게 사실 너 이런 마음 게 적으면 그만이 돼
Oh, she got so laid back and casual with it there. Oh, I love that. And she brings the tune when it comes to music. It's so cool. Paired with the wide range and the low end. Oh. 쩍쩍거리다가 누추한 모습으로 함께 아침을 맞아 새삼스럽게 넌 심각하게 예뻐 그 입장장 Doesn't matter if the flow's really fast or really slow. It's just that the laid back vibe. Oh, hit the pause one time. Oh, the rod, hello. She's just so cool, man. She's so cool. Whenever she has a little moment in music, it's just so cool because she's gonna bring this different vibe, this different energy to it. And it's just so nice to hear her do her thing because it's so quintessentially her for me. Does that make sense? It's very nice. It's very nice. And I love the flexibility that she has too. She's got a really, I think, distinct voice. And yes, she's able to pull off a whole bunch of different genres, and I think that's really hard to do. Because usually, especially if you've been around for as long as From-9 have been around, you slowly start to like put together, certain voices go better with certain genres and stuff. But for me, Seoyeon just doesn't have that restriction. She doesn't feel like she's ever tied down to like a sound. Her sound is just that she can do anything and does it in the way that she does every single time. Again, I'm falling into that spiral of just Seoyeon bias wrecking the hell out of me in this group. Oh yeah, but the point I wanted to make, the fact that From-us got announced for Waterbomb, I really hope that means that we're gonna get new music from them and that it's just gonna be a party banger. Because, like, if you're bringing a group to a music festival without new music, then what are you doing? So, Pledis, I beg that we get new music from them. I honestly, at this point, I don't care if it's a single. I just want new From-us music. Summery From-us music, a summery bop, party banger from From-us in preparation for Waterbomb. That sounds great to me. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a dream to me. So, Pledis, please don't disappoint us. Anyways, one final one for this lineup, I believe. NCT U. I believe NCT Zone is like a video game of sorts that NCT have had a hand in. I guess it's actually their own video game. I'm not too well versed in this, but it's NCT, and well, last year I feel like I learned a whole lot about NCT just as a whole. Admittedly, Wish is a group that exists now that I need to learn. It's like I finally got around to learning all current 20 NCT members, and then new team, now NCT Wish debuted, and now I have to kind of start all over again. So yay. The life of being a latent citizen is a great time. But this is Do It, parentheses, Let's Play for NCT Zone by NCT U. I don't know which members of NCT are involved in this, so we'll find out. This is also going to be a good test for me. Lock in.
How you like that? Do it. We go 함께. Don't wait. Ready, get set. Move it. 움직여봐 like this.
Oh, we got a good mix. Okay.
방송이는 순간 too late. 잡아먹어라 여기 new way. 깨어나는 감각. Okay. 찾아봐 your space. 지금 let's play. 나를 발견해서 꿈에 깊은 광야.
Oh no, Jaehyun's back to wreck me again.
멀리 마주보는 너를 향해 달려가. 나 매일 waiting for ya. 우린 이렇게 이곳에서 만나. Everywhere 빠져들어 follow. 머나먼 여정이 돼.
Oh, speaking of NCT, Doyoung has a solo coming out soon, doesn't he? Very exciting. And then Taeyong's off in the military. Good luck, sir. Oh, no, hold it up.
여기 재미난 게 끝없이 boomerang 환상의 틈에 찾아온 nightmare I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4 내 온몸은 달려 나의 꿈으로 쉴 새 없이 들어봐야지 Welcome to the show
Oh my god, Xiaojun, stop it. Honestly, the pairings in this song? What, so we've had Cheno and Yang Yang, we've had Chanla and Xiaojun, Jungwoo kind of just like bridging everything together.
How you like that? Do it. We go 함께. Don't wait. Ready, get set. Move it. 움직여봐 like this.
Is it just those five?
방송이는 순간 too late. Okay. 찾아봐 your space. 지금 let's play. 어디까지 갈 꿈인지 알겐 없어 my energy. Do what we wanna do. 내가 이끈 대로 만들어간 new world 그거는 똑같아 지켜낸 모델로 나는 자기 전에 never let go. Ah yeah.
I kind of wish that high note kept going higher. Oh, hello. Keep it building.
Winning everywhere that we go. How you like that? Do it. We go 함께. Don't wait. Ready, get set. Move it. 멈추지 않는 step. 강해지는 attack. Do it. 몇 번이고 다시 next stage. 짜릿함이 번진 your face. 너와 나는 시간. Okay. 가져봐 your space. 지금 replay.
Look, the song itself is very NCT-ish. It's got the playfulness that, you know, comes with the whole video game aesthetic to it. But for me, what works is all the back and forth, all of the AB verses. And I usually say this for songs with rap verses. There are some really good K-pop songs where you get two rappers going back and forth, kind of bouncing off of each other. So one person gets the first half, the other person gets the second half, and the contrast and the pairing they make just really makes the song for me. So songs like TNX's Move, that rap verse, the entire second verse is still living rent-free in my head. The second verse from Everglow's Dun Dun with EU and Aisha, crazy. The second verse from Dreamcatcher's Petey with Gayon and Tommy, they're all just like pairings, 1 and 2. Essentially, Do It, Let's Play is essentially that. It's an entire song made up of AB verses. Whether it is, you know, Jeno and Yang together, whether it is Xiaojun and Chanle together, and then you throw in Jungwoo to just bridge all that together. He's like the glue that brings everything together, because he can do both, and he does both. And he's kind of on this little standalone where he fills in all the little missing bits to really just bring the whole project together. And I think that's really cool. Oh, I kind of like that though. Huh. And I feel like I know most of the members by face now. I think Hendery and Winwin are still going to give me trouble. Like, it's mainly down to the fact that I'm not very familiar with Wavy as of yet. I know most of them at this point. Like, we got to check out Ten's solo this year. Xiaojun, I think, has a pretty distinctive visual, as well as just voice is tremendous. Same with Yang to an extent. And then Kun's my boy. I love Kun to bits. I love a good chef in a group, you know? And then like the Dreamies, I'm very well aware of, very familiar with. 127, I'm very familiar with at this point. So it really is just the remaining little bit of Wavy, and then NCT Wish. I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there. Whew. And that's kind of where we're gonna wrap up part 1. Of course, we still have 5 more to go. As a little teaser, we've got Swan from Purple Kiss. We've got Mr. Jang Hao of ZB1, Miss Seulgi, Kwonjina, and Lucy in part 2. So if you're interested in those, keep your eyes peeled for part 2, which is technically, I think, episode 7. If it isn't out already. And, well, in terms of, well, let's see. Let's see if we can talk about any future releases to look forward to. Wooyeon, I believe, have their full release coming out in the next couple months or so, because the song that just dropped was a pre-release. I'm not quite sure on the Cardi front of things. Chuu, I think there's talks about a comeback in the pipeline. Shipsenchi, same deal with Cardi. From S9, of course, in preparation for Waterbomb. Hopefully they get new music. And then NCT, Doyoung has a solo. And Dream just had a comeback, so I'll have to go back and check in on them. Wish I need to go and properly delve into, and yeah, good roundup. I missed some good songs, didn't I? Ooh, do I want to? What's a good one? Honestly, the middle 3 going from Wooyeon to Chuu to Shipsenchi was kind of a glorious back-to-back-to-back section. I'd probably pick any of those songs. I do love a sappy little song. I do. I'm a big sucker for a good ballad. But, you know what? I've waffled long enough and I still have 5 more songs to go, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One last request from me today. Let us work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness to maybe brighten someone else's day to day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, an ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.